It's Pat on Brands. Watch how you branded, man. A pat on the back is a pat from the man. Better be branded, man. A pat from the pat is a pat on the brand.
We must consistently reinvent our approach to market, taking customer shifts and nuances into consideration. And after a 7-year stint in a similar role within F&B or within financial services, that include F&B and Netbank respectively, she joined the consumer goods category in her role at Tiger Brands in 2020. And prior to the corporate role, she actually notched up 10 years at numerous agencies, building her integrated strategic media experience, totaling more than 15 years experience within integrated channel strategy and advertising. She's currently studying towards her honors in marketing and is a designated chartered marketer through the Marketing Association of South Africa. She's a guest lecturer and assessor for the Amasa Media Management for Brand Building at Vega, whilst mentoring students and individuals within the media and advertising industry. She's mostly passionate about food, culinary arts, small business within food, and photography. And this afternoon, we are having a fantastic conversation with her. Sadika, welcome.
Thank you so much, Bolele. It's such an honor and pleasure to be here. And thank you so much, Pat, for this opportunity.
Absolutely. So I could go on and read about what you've done and who you are, but I think it's so much better when we actually just have this conversation. I've just read a brief bio about what you've done, but maybe we can just start off by, just finding out about your life before actually getting into the media marketing space. How did Sadika grow up? What was your upbringing like? Let's start there.
I'm a charo, so it was proper. So my husband teases me that I'm actually a farmer. So I hail, obviously I'm Indian, so I must hail from KwaZulu-Natal. But I hail not even from the city of Durban. I hail from the farmlands of the South Coast. I'm Zinto Parkreni. I always joke, Devi Sankri, Governor, and myself come from the same town. And in fact, our dads were friends. So it was a small community, a community that almost stated that you're not going to get out. In fact, your dream should actually just be to move to Durban. So coming big doggy dog world into Johannesburg has been a big thing. So I grew up there for about actually 20 years of my life. I was schooled on the South Coast, and I was blessed enough to have good teachers, blessed enough to have a good friendship circle. And in turn, I knew, and it sounds really weird, I knew I wanted advertising and marketing in my life at around, I'd say, grade 9 or standard 7 back in the days when we called it. And I had the most amazing English teacher that said, you have a big mouth. You get good marks for orals. Have you considered advertising and marketing? And I go, but should I be thinking about that right now in my career? And I'm answering yes, if there's anyone out there or if anyone else wants to train their daughters or their sons, start building that career, start letting them think about that career upfront. So she absolutely guided my vision for advertising. But then, so we had moved then from the South Coast into Durban. And I said, no, let me explore this thing. But on the South Coast, I realized that there was no scope for advertising. The advertising agencies in the South Coast place classified ads. Yeah. So that was a big advertising agency in the South Coast. It was huge. And they did one kind of street poll, and that was it. That was a big, high impact medium or marketing strategy. So I decided to do another passion of mine, and it sounds really weird. I opened up a modeling agency when I was around 19 to 20, because I have a passion for small business, a small passion to give people opportunities. And let's be honest, most of the top supermodels in this world have come from small coastal towns. Look at the top models. And I saw this as a huge opportunity because between the Scottburgh leg to Umkomaas leg and Margate leg, you had hot bodies on the beach that it was underutilized. So I created a modeling agency and a scouting agency. Then I pushed my way into getting accredited as a modeling scout. So I'm actually a model scout. That's the funny thing. I can see a model from a mile away. That's the funny thing. And yes, my husband thinks that I analyzed him like that as well. So alas, but I did that for the very reason is because I needed to start creating my own avenues, because the avenues I realized were not going to come to me. Then we landed up moving to Durban, and I said, you know what, I need to take a step into this. I think my dad's death in 2004 pushed it a lot more, because I had my family go, but so what are you going to do for a living now? Your father's not here. You're not going to work in your father's business. You are definitely not going to get into advertising because you're kind of an Indian female, and that's not what you do. When will you be doing the accounting degree and moving into the real job? And I was put under pressure, and I questioned my self-worth. When you don't have people on your side, and that's life, I guess, you question, am I doing the right thing? Should I be pushing against the grain? I've got everyone against me at this point. And maybe I should believe it, because I called a couple of agencies at that point in Durban, and they said, no, do you have advertising experience? Did you study at an advertising school? And I go, no, I'm studying through UNISA because I can't afford anything else. I'm studying through UNISA because I'm trying to get a job. I'm trying to make ends meet. And I want to follow my passion. Oh, no, you can't have it all. You should have studied through like a Vega or AAA Shem. So I said, okay, that's fine. And I got pushed to such a state where I contacted TBWA Hunt the Scars at that point. And I said to them, could I speak to the strategy director? And I was blessed enough, and it's always the right time. I firmly believe right time, right place. You walk on your destiny before you attain it. And during that time, I was hearing a lot about TBWA being the world's best, most creative agency. And I said, that's the one. I'm going there. Did I get laughed at? You, no advertising experience, nothing, no qualification, nothing. Are you going to shake your butt there? And what are you going to do? Okay, because you're really not good at it, like anything, basically, at this point.
Yeah.
And I was blessed enough to get a meeting with the strategy director. And I'll remember him for the rest of my life, because he said, look, there's no opportunity here. There's no paid for opportunity. You can come work for free. So I said, I'll take it. I'm going to put TBWA, Hunt Lascaris, on my CV. I'll come. I'm there. So try going back after that interview to go and tell an Indian mother, see, mom, I am going to be working for free. For a long space of time until I can prove myself. And then maybe I'll get a job, a paid job. But I'm going to do it. And I was blessed once again, and I'm fully grateful. In 3 months, I was hired as a marketing analyst, a research and marketing analyst at TBWA. And that's where I started out my career. I started out in communication strategy. But the biggest thing here is I was opposed. Only when it started looking really cool to my friends and family did they go, we have a friend at Hunt Lascaris now. But you said I was going to be snorting cocaine, and you said I was going to be on the streets. And it's always those perceptions, and it's something I stress, go against the norm, go against the perceptions and what people think about you, because you're never going to make a success if you worry about everyone against you. And I had, at that point, no one for me to go into advertising. So I had me pushing me. And I outgrew a little bit of that position. And then there was a shift, and there was a personal decision to come to Johannesburg, to the big bad city of Joburg. I heard bad things about Joburg. Apparently, as soon as you pass that last toll gate, you can become a drug addict. Because if you're advertising and you pass that toll gate, that's it. You're going to become a whore and a drug addict. After that last toll gate, that's it. Witchcraft is going to happen, and that's me. I'm done. And I go, really, I didn't think I had the cleavage or the body enough to take up, cocaine addiction and becoming a whore. But alas, that was it. And I arrived in Johannesburg, again, no job. And I was then again given some opportunities to do some contractual work. And then I had the weirdest call to ask if I wanted to come into media. And for Media Compete. And at that point I said, I'm staying in Comstrat. It's the cool thing. It's where all the nice popular people are. I don't want to come, no, because me, I know about Lurie's, and I want to go there, and I want to wear my skinny jeans and my skinny suit, and I'm going there. The Comstrat thing is nice because that's, and I gave it an opportunity, and I met Britta Reed, who is another fundamental person in my life. Because she said, I know you don't get media. That is the reason I'm bringing you into media. And that was the cutting edge thinking that I've always learned and taken with me in leadership. Sometimes someone doesn't have the experience. It's okay. There's some things that can be taught. But if you have the capacity or the appetite to give someone that opportunity, you can watch some great things happen. And then again, I joined Media Compete. And at the same time, I was called in by Vega. So I thought they were trying to sell me a degree because they go, shame, oh, shame. We see she's in advertising and she doesn't
No
know.
qualification.
And, oh, shame. She's probably like a bursary student or a CSI initiative. Only to find that they were, I've been a CSI initiative. Only to find that they were asking me to come and lead up their media course. And I go, okay, wait, hold on now. Right. I've been in media all of like 3 days. And now you are asking me. And that was Gordon Cook at that point. And he says, okay, so why don't you just lecture? And then you can lecture yourself and learn media at the same time. So at this point, I had started a new job and I was asked by Vega to create their media course and lecture it. And to this day, by the way, I still lecture. So I did it. I took a chance. And as I was lecturing myself, my husband or boyfriend at that point, who is now my husband, he stuck around. Stuck around. But look, I fed him. So he's now too fat to run away. So yeah, you always tell you to feed your man so much that they can't actually run away. So I succeeded. I carried on. I had a plan. So I did that. And he sat in every single lecture, by the way, so he could understand my world. And that's something I've learned. And then here I am today, always maintaining the fact that I've learned that people gave back to me and gave me an opportunity that I must do the same. So I'll continue to media lecture. I will continue to do that. And then from a whole array of agencies, agency whore, that's the term we media people have. We jump. We jump. We jump when you email justice. We jump for business cards. We jump for 50 Rand. We jump just to prove a point to our past bosses. We jump because it's an ego thing, and I've come to learn that. Sometimes I jump for an ego. Ooh, they want me. Ooh, it's a headhunt. And you mature out after some time. It gets exciting when you are young and you can still fit into skinny jeans and people want you. So I got my thrill from jumping, which was incorrect, by the way. It was incorrect. It was the wrong thing to do. And I jumped a couple of times and I realized I wasn't building enough credibility. Then I was blessed again. And I said, by the way, I'm never leaving agency. Now I said, I'm never leaving media agencies. I like it now. Now I like it. I was called in and I said to myself, I would never go to a bank and I'd never go to corporate. I don't like that. And I was called by Nedbank. And I was asked if I'd be interested. And I had a huge conversation with, again, another great leader, which is Sydney Mbele at that point. And I said, look, what you see is what you get. I'm going to arrive at work with jeans. I'm not going to take out my agency mentality because I think that that's what you may need in this corporate role. And he says, don't change that. Just grow and learn about corporate. Give it a chance. And I said to myself at this point, Sadika, okay, so it may not work. You can suck dismally at this thing. Go 3 months and then you can phone your agency peeps and you can try and get back into agency.
Go back,
That's it. So I took the biggest risk of my life into corporate and I've never turned back. I think it's a huge opportunity and I come with that agency knowledge to understand how best to manage an agency or how best I might, manage an in-house function. But that agency grounding has given me or gotten me to where I am today to understand how to get the best out of agencies and build relationships. And here I am today. So a lot of banking. Then I decided to take a chance and a risk into corporate on consumer goods side because I wanted to start touching and the products that I sell. And I also know that consumer goods, again, it's literally fast moving. And I wanted to literally, and I wanted to understand how that category works so I can become more diversified in my career and my offering. And when I start helping people, I can talk about both categories now, FinServe and consumer goods, instead of just being the FinServe banking girl.
That's fantastic. Just from this that you've shared with us, you've gone against a lot of beliefs that have stuck, in the ground, that have been cemented. You were opposed, but you still decided that you were going to go after the things that you wanted to go after. You still, jumped and hopped from agency to agency when it wasn't the right thing to do. You still went into corporate when you didn't want to go into corporate. You still went to work for a bank when you didn't want to work for a bank, But then that just goes to show that there is a driving force that is, pushing you beyond what you have set as a limit for yourself,
That's it.
What do you feel is that driving force? Because a lot of the time when we come across opposition, we start to doubt whatever it is that is pushing us into that direction, or we just let go of the things that are actually setting our souls on fire. For you, what pushed you forward and had you going against everything that was, in your way?
Two things. One's an immature answer I'm going to give you, and one's a very mature answer. Okay, so let's start with the immature answer. I was told I couldn't. I was told I was fat, I was stupid, and I would amount to nothing.
Sure.
So I needed to prove that wrong. I was told that by family members. I didn't walk in. I overheard family members say that about me. Shame, she's fat, she's ugly. Shame, and then she's doing the stupid girls BCom on top of that. So I was told I was not going to make it. Then I was told by a specific recruiter or recruiting company when I had just come up to Johannesburg, you're Indian, you're female, you're from Durban. Why don't you go back to Durban, make rotis and make babies?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, close the mouth. The funniest thing is when the recruiter contacts you to help you with recruitment now in your teams. It's the funniest thing, isn't it? So that's the immature side of Sadika. The mature side is what drives me is purpose. It's ultimately, it's the whole concept of purpose. And when I'm talking purpose, I believe God gives a purpose to everyone, and I'm not being preachy, but I believe that everyone has a unique, big, world-changing purpose. And if I and it's not letting me down, if I let the next person down, I don't know whose life I must impact. I know the lives I have impacted, and I know I have many more lives to impact until my last breath. So my driving force is making a positive difference into other people's life and achieving my bigger purpose every single day. It's not, I don't believe I'm going to wake up in 10 years and go, oh, my purpose is achieved. Every day I'm hustling toward my purpose. So purpose is a big driver. And at the end, I need to realize that when I do see Archangel Michael and Archangel Gabriel at the pearly gates, that I can answer to God, that I put my best foot forward. I did try and make a difference, and I'm going to the good place and not the bad place. You must watch that series on Netflix. It's hilarious, but it's that. So there is an immature side to me and a mature side.
We love both. We love all of Sadika. So you've managed to, achieve great things within the industry, and you started it off at a time where it was, positions were being held by a lot of men. Men were driving the industry, were running teams, and now you've come in, you've built your way up, and now you're part of the drivers in the space. How did you manage to reach your level of success given the gender gap? Because a lot of the time, when it's just like, it's a woman, we're not gonna give her a chance, she's a woman, they make decisions based on emotions, there's a whole lot of things that are surrounding women, so we can't put them in such positions, but you've managed to break those boundaries. How did you manage to do that and reach your level of success?
Can I give you the mature answer and the immature answer? I think we'll do that, okay? All right, okay, cool. Right, yeah, okay. So the honest truth is, and I'm sure anyone listening to this and anyone can pick up, I definitely come through a little bit more masculine than feminine. Okay. So and I'm not asking anyone to please do that and push to be. My personality has allowed me to be quite masculine. I wasn't brought up in a mollycoddled way. So it started from upbringing where I got taught to be quite resilient and a fighter. And I come from an Indian caste called Kshatriya, which is warrior. So you by nature, and you see it in your DNA and blood and just the way that I've grown up, I'm quite masculine. So I can detect at this point, you are being a little bit sexist here. And so that was the one thing. The next thing is I ignore any form of gender inequality. So I've basically turned a blind eye. If there's a room full of males, I see them as client or I see them as stakeholders. I do not see them as male. If there's a group of females, I don't see them as females. I see them as stakeholders. So I have shifted gender. So if I don't let it impact me, it is not going to impact my career. And I must be honest, I don't see the ceiling, and I haven't seen the ceiling from a gender perspective. My ceilings come in when I said, very high expectations for myself, and then I stress myself out.
Mm.
But I have debarred that whole thing of gender inequality, of ignoring the fact that I am female up against a male. I'm up against another strategist, or I'm up against another media director, or I'm up against a difficult marketing director whom I'm not taking as a guy or girl. You're just difficult in some instances. So I've left out the male female thing, outside of which I also believe that you need to be personal as well. And I've gotten personal. So in the sense, I think people are afraid to talk about their families in boardrooms. They're afraid to talk about what they're eating. They're afraid to talk about, as a woman, what are you cooking? Oh, it's lovely not to wear a bra when you're working from home. Of course it is. It's lovely. Same as guys not wearing pants. So in the sense that you need to have that sense of humor and take it a little bit lightheartedness, and have that lightheartedness about being a female. We're juggling a couple of hats, and I know we're going to talk a little bit about that. So it's okay to be and embrace being a woman. But my biggest thing was to ignore male versus female.
I absolutely love that. Have you found that it's obviously worked for you, you know, because you are where you are, but have you found that you have moments where you need to like shy away from the elements of you that embrace you being a woman, just to accommodate the space that you are in, and actually putting your foot down when it comes to making decisions? Or have you found that it's much easier to just embrace all of it, and people should just accept that for who you are? Because, you know, we find ourselves in a space where when women decide to put their foot down, they're being difficult or they're bossy and all of that stuff. But how has it been for you, the response with you deciding that this is me and this is what I'm giving to the space?
Don't stop being you, ever, 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 ever. Because that's when a leader is going to see a lack of authenticity. Every day is a job interview. Every day is the next step to your career elevation or you getting funding for that business. So no, you have to embrace who you are. If you exude femininity, and as I said, I exude a little bit more masculinity than femininity. I exude it. It's okay. People have said I have a gruff voice, so sometimes I get called Mr. Fakir. I'm okay with it. It's okay. I'm not going to go squeaky. My voice is deep. I've even been told I have a phone sex voice. So that's my secondary career option, I guess. We can get deep and luscious just now. Ooh, we can get sexy just now. Don't stop being who you are and embracing who you are. If you have an emergency and your phone has to be on and you have a kiddie emergency, take the call. Take the call. If you have a personal dilemma, it's okay. So it goes out to guys as well. It's okay. We need to break through the stereotypes. And the second we start pretending to be in a specific mold that we shouldn't be in, we are fueling that gender inequality, and we are then fueling us being almost, shall I say, wearing masks, literally. And I laugh at this whole thing of masks. Are we wearing masks now perpetually? Is it the real us? And that's something that I stress. Please just be you. Within parameters, now, please, you must be wearing pants. I'm wearing pants now, just in case I have to stand up. Okay. Are you wearing pants? Are you wearing
I'm wearing
pants?
a dress, so I'm good.
Okay, good. So you're not wearing pants. So within parameters, and let me just double click into parameters. If you're in a company, you ultimately do have to respect the ethos, the values of that company. So being you, and if it's you twirling around and being a diva, that's ultimately not going to be accepted. Be you in light of who you were brought up to be, in light of values that are acceptable. So you need to have your value set sorted out. So at the same level, I have my personal values that I was brought up with. I've developed further values, and then I always align my values to the value set of the company. I choose the company based on culture and values before anything. So those are the kind of things, but never, ever give up who you are, ever.
That's fantastic. So you you are part of the decision makers, you are part of managing teams, you're part of putting together concepts that are going to be consumed by a lot of people. And with marketing, there's this thing that marketers are liars and marketers aren't truthful. Marketers will sell you something because they have to make their money. And you're actually quoted as saying, as marketers, we are responsible for standing for more than just sales of products and services. We need to have a part of making the world a better place and help improve the lives of the customers as the brands we represent, whether as agency or corporate. How do you find the balance? Because sometimes, especially like now, because we're finding ourselves in like tough times and we need to be making money. We need to, communicate the messages as best as we can. Sometimes you'll need to tweak certain things, but where do you find the balance with being truthful and still, changing the world and still being a marketer, if I could put it like that?
It's and it's important. I read an article this morning that Google submitted. All brands in their ethos should have the word helpfulness, and I'm so grateful to have worked with FNB because the ethos was all about help. Mm-hmm. No way does any company not want to make money or sell. I think the average human in this world, my 3-year-old knows. It is 3 years old. Yes, it's 3 years old. It knows that the toy shop makes money by us buying toys. Okay, so we all kind of know that. It is the articulation of how you're going to go about selling it and what problem are you solving with your product. That is the biggest thing. So the first thing of how you get around this, in my opinion, is really to understand the brand positioning and what the brand stands for. What are the values that embed the brand? We all know that you are either selling some kind of a product or a service, but I always go with the lens of how might you be solving a customer's problem or providing them with a solution. And then you craft your communication message around that in a purposeful and an emotive manner that really understands the consumer. So this is where culture plays an important role. This is where understanding that if I'm targeting a female audience, maybe I shouldn't go in at 5 to 6 because she's watching Disney Junior with her kids. Some of us have had that switched on. So it's really then starting to apply yourself by understanding the cultural and the channel nuances that impact the consumer. So ultimately meaning no one's saying don't say 3.99 or 10,000 Rand for a bag or a pair of shoes. It's how you do it and how the brand comes through. That's one part. The second part is, and I always stress to marketers, I think what we land up doing is we put CSI in the corner there, shame, and then they go to schools and then they feed children. Or shame, they go and paint swings or they do sanitary pad projects and. How do you bring that doing good into marketing communications in such an authentic manner that you are showcasing doing good, but not being braggy about it? So yes, it is a challenge to do purposeful marketing, but it's really going back to having that emotive connection with your communications and then the channel strategy that you are selecting. What goes on Okozi FM is fundamentally different to what's going to go onto Lotus FM and what's going to go to Jacaranda FM. So tweaking that level of purposeful marketing to the specific channels that you're selecting.
Wow. You have just like, yay, you made a lot of things move in my mind. But let's talk about the many hats that Sadika wears. You know, you are a mom, you love cooking, you are a self-taught photographer, you are an integrated media and digital director at Tiger Brands, you are a wife, and you juggle all these roles as best as possible. But now I want to get into the woman behind the title. You know, a lot of the time we're just associated with our title, and that's like, oh yeah, that's who she is. Oh, do you know Sadika? Oh, the Tiger Brands lady, yeah. But there are many other elements to who Sadika is, you know. Let's talk about Sadika, the mom, the wife, the culinary lover. Tell us more about your love for family and food.
Okay, so again, I'm going to go back to my upbringing. I wanted to become a chef. Okay, it was, and I still do actually.
Sure.
And it was the biggest thing and the best thing in my life. So I said to myself that I would one day get into advertising slash food, and look at where I am today. I'm working for a food brand and I'm in advertising. Be careful of what you say. You walk on your destiny before you attain it. Remember that, people.
100%.
So I wanted to become a chef, and I had the chef school. I was going to Christina Martin. In my head, I was going to Christina Martin, not in my parents' head or my sister's heads.
Sure.
No. And at first I thought that they bought into my dream, and I was thrilled and I was beyond happy, only to realize they were just trying to appease me, and I was never going to go to chef school, ever. They were never going to approve it. And the terms I got was I was going to be a fat Indian cook at a wedding, you know, with those big pots, you know? Yeah. So the whole thing of fat is very big, as you can hear in my family.
Yes.
And my friendship circles. Shame, but I like food. Hey, I guess I'm not going to become a Sports Illustrated model. And I felt that the dream was stolen from me, and I felt betrayed. And I said, I can't feel sorry for myself. So I'm going to push everything. And I said that from 2000s, I was going to do everything to get into food one day, by any way. And I'll start creating my own food, my own food. And to this day, I will continue to do that. I believe my future, my past, my present, and my future lies in food, because it's not just about eating food. It's what food means to me. Food brings people together. I think you can already see my eyes lighting up. As much as my eyes light up for advertising and media, my eyes light up more for food, and what food does to bring people together, and how food can be used to not just sustain, but to really tell stories. We all remember sitting around a table, or some of my best meetings have happened over a beautiful meal. So I will aim to create one day my own food platform, whatever that is. I don't know what it is, but I know I'm going to go into my own food platform or my own food dream. So food is central. If you go to Instagram, I'm a contradiction to you, Bolele. So you like healthy food. You will not smell a healthy thing on my page, but we can be friends. I am carb laden, fat laden. The funny thing is, being Indian, we do a lot of plant-based and a lot of vegetarian food, but you're gonna see it laden with ghee and cream. So I'm very passionate about Indian food, and I think that Indian food is misinterpreted. You see charo and you think, oh, shem, you think bani chow and biryani. And my aim is to educate, especially, we are all still millennials. Wow, look at that. We apparently are still millennials. On other takes of Indian food. I'm North Indian, so my biggest thing is to position North Indian food into South Africa. And I believe there's a gap in that. And that's where my passion lies. And that's where you'll see a lot of my content lie. And to really make Indian food a lot more approachable, that you can start learning how to pronounce the names of the spices and the curries, because I know most people go to an Indian restaurant, then phone me and they go, what is this makhani thing? It's makhani. What is this Rogan Josh? Is it a man? So you must see my calls. My calls now are Indian food related more than media related. So that's always been my passion. I don't know how I'm going to commercialize yet and how I'll create a business around it, but I know that at the right time, the idea will come and it'll land and it will happen. Outside of that, I'm a mom to 4 children and humans. I'm still learning about kids. I've never liked kids. I'm going to be honest. I'm still learning to like my kids. My son came very soon after we got married. I worked through my pregnancy. I worked through my maternity, but I didn't take maternity leave. So I didn't bring up my son. My husband brought him up because I wasn't permitted to. And when we have to talk gender inequality, I guess I blocked it out because I was told to pack my things if I was taking maternity leave. So I said, no, I won't. So I gave birth to Sid on that Monday, and then I was back at work at 12 o'clock after I'd given birth to him. So I was in labor for 24 hours, and then as I pushed him out at home, because we couldn't afford a hospital, so the midwife says, you know what, I'll sort the kid out with my husband, and I was back at work because the strategy was due, and I was going to get into trouble if I didn't submit. So So I'm still learning about my son because I spent most of my time on pitches and at work. And that's something that I realized was a mistake, and I'm learning from it now. Then I had a second one, got knocked up again. That is a feisty one. She's a diva, and I'm still learning about her. She challenges every grain of me. And I'm challenged by my children, and that's my area of improvement. I'm not the best of mothers because I'm still learning patience. And I think mums have a lot of patience and spend a lot more time. I'm still learning the work-life balance as well and when to switch off. So that's been another thing in my family life. From a marriage perspective, I married my best friend, who's like my dad, the good side of my dad, not the bad side of my dad. So I married my best friend. So know that there wasn't the lustful thing in the lingerie. I married my best friend. We go, yeah, okay, so we're gonna get married. Okay, cool. And we believe the spark and the romance will get built over the years. And note, I met him on a chat. I met him on the internet. No, it was not Indian matchmaking, guys. Like our Seema, Auntie Seema from Indian matchmaking. I was not set up with him. Our parents would never set us up, ever. In fact, our parents would want to take us away from each other. We met on a chat room, guys, on East Coast Radio Chat. And he was flirting with 6 other girls. I was flirting with 6 other guys. I was sussing him out. I was checking if he drove a BMW. Alas, he didn't. He drove an Audi. But now we have BMs in our life. It's okay. We aspire to BMs in our life. But I had to convert him. He was an Audi fan. Shame. But the whole... I'm kidding. We love German engineering all round, from VW to Audi to Porsche to BM. But I think the biggest thing here is to really realize that I married my best friend and we learned about each other along the way. And he has been nothing but a pillar of strength and support to me. He has brought up the kids when I couldn't. He's with the kids right now because I'm here and I'm working for the rest of the evening because we have a couple of deadlines to do. So the whole thing is that fine balance that I married a very understanding and supportive human being. I married someone, if some people were asking me, who do I accolade this Women's Month? And I said, it's actually my husband, because he pushes me to do this and gives me the platform and the opportunity to do this. So he is absolutely fantastic. And I have no doubt that when you have the right support structure, whether it's friends, whether it's a partner, whether it's your family supporting you, you ultimately will grow, but you definitely need the support structure. But if you don't have the support structure, the biggest thing I've learned is you've got to do it yourself as well.
Absolutely. What do you wish are some of the things that could change for women in the industry?
The first thing, and I'm going to speak from me, that level of guilt. We need to learn better behaviors or within ourselves not to feel guilty between choosing to switch off your laptop at 8 o'clock at night and going to have dinner with your family versus working. And I know a lot of people sitting on this call can't do that balance. So the one thing, and I can't change it about the industry, I'm saying we need to change that in our behaviors. It's okay to have a weekend with your family. It's also okay to work over weekends as well. I'm going to reverse it because sometimes you do have to. I wish this was Eden and we could all say work-life balance, and we're definitely going to switch at 5 o'clock. I'm switching off because it's 5 o'clock. You can't. We're in media and advertising. And let's be honest, if you've selected media and advertising, and I always say this to candidates I'm recruiting, please understand what you're signing up for, because we are in media. It's 24/7. You can't tell that TV ad to not flight incorrectly at 7 o'clock and say, I'm not sorting it out now, it's past my working hours. You can't tell that billboard not to fall after a rainstorm. You can't. The billboard's not going to listen to you. I promise you. Can't tell someone not to treat you badly. It's going to happen, and it's probably going to happen after hours. So that's something that I want to reverse, that I need everyone to kind of understand that it goes both ways, that you need to balance that level. Yeah.
But when it comes to the media and marketing space, it's very, very fast moving, especially with you, because you're with in the fast-moving consumer goods industry, but also in digital, you find that it's fast-moving because especially now when we're more in the digital space, and we struggle with finding a balance because we need to meet deadlines, we need to have the ads flighted, we need to make sure that budgets are being followed correctly, and the works, and a lot of people in the marketing and media industry carry a lot of pressure on their backs, and they sometimes don't know how to deal with this. That's why then sometimes we have people resorting to substance abuse or just toxic behavior that gets them into a downward spiral because they don't know how to deal with the pressures of the industry. How do you recommend people to get it within themselves and continue to keep pushing and fighting?
That's it. And it's a very tough one. And I probably don't even have the answer for myself, but I have a couple of thoughts on this. And it goes back to purpose. You've got to set what you want to accomplish to make a world-changing difference for yourself and for others around you. And when you start living in that specific world of having a bigger purpose, a bigger world-changing purpose, everything starts almost gravitating to that bigger world-changing purpose. I also believe we don't talk enough about our emotions. We don't talk about I'm feeling, and people are not able to express themselves exceptionally well. And we don't like talking about our emotions. And what do? We suppress our emotions or the way we're feeling. We're feeling bad about ourselves. We're feeling that we're unaccomplished. We're feeling that we're scared. We're worried about the future. Then what do? We resort to something substance, whether it be food, whether it be drink, whether it be sex, whether it be infidelity, whether it be whatever your poison is. We land up suppressing our emotions by trying to fill it with something else. But so I always say how I've pushed through it is I've expressed how I felt, not to others, but to myself. So I do a lot of kind of reflection, and it doesn't cost you that much when you go, I feel. And then Sadika, why are you feeling this? Okay, so I feel insecure. Why? Because that person said that in that boardroom today, and it made me feel that. And I start double clicking. So a lot of introspection needs to happen. So on one side, I know I have a bigger purpose, and I know it's to help others and to grow others. So in the sense, I must get myself together. But at the same level is, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? And that's something that I go, guys, all of you have homework for today. Ask yourself that every night. Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? And start writing down about it. Get a journal for yourself and start writing down about it. I don't think we spend enough time with self. And this lack of self-awareness causes the substance abuse causes, in turn, when I am a terrible human, I'm going to bring that toxicity into a work environment, and then I'm going to cause a toxic culture. So all of this can be mediated if we are a little bit more self-aware as to why I'm treating people the way I'm treating them. Am I trying to defend something, and that's why I'm a bad manager? So it's that self-reflection. And if we can start with self and reflecting why I'm doing what I'm doing, you'll start noticing that it has a train reaction of improvement and healing.
Oh, Sadika, we're unfortunately running out of time, but just to wrap up, you've had your 10 lessons in 10 years that you posted on Instagram. And I absolutely love one of the lessons that you put up where you say, networks are important. This requires effort and attention. Why is this important?
I think it's an age-old saying, your network is your net worth, right? Your next opportunity is coming from a network. In this day and age, it's how you show up in the industry. What is your reputation? Who's going to recommend you? I mean, I'll leave you with that question. Are you worthy of a recommendation from a senior person in this industry? So ultimately, your network needs working on. Call up your mentors, call in the people more senior than you, ask them what they think about you. And this is why you can't just go, oh, I know this person, I've got their number. No, the work that needs to go in there means I need to keep in touch with my circle and my networks. I need to do, and I consider coffee dates investment in time. So catching up with the right people, not the wrong people. So catching up there. So the work I'm talking about is ensuring that your network is healthy, that you have the right people for the season of your life in that network, and that your network is introducing you to other more different people, that you're growing a network. And I go, it's probably that we're all selling Tupperware and think about the Tupperware model, it's about a network base. So we need to
Yeah.
apply that for ourselves. Tupperware is the best-selling network is because you grow the network and grow the network. So that's the most important thing. It needs time, it needs effort, but it needs you to analyze who is in your network. Someone on your phone is not in your network. You saved the number and stolen the number from an email. That is, he or she is not in your network, I assure you. You need to build that repertoire and that relationship with someone in your network. And I also want to stress, your network need not only have senior people. You may find that a person at mid-tier level is associated with 5 or 10 very senior people because maybe they could be the media strategist on a very big high portfolio account, and they could introduce you. So please don't always go with the stereotype that, oh, I must have directors and I must have chief marketing officers and I must have CEOs. No, go 3 or 4 levels down and grow your network with the company that they represent or what they stand for from a philosophy perspective, because that's how we learn.
I absolutely love that. What advice would you give to the next generation of female leaders?
Can you be kinder? Can you be kinder? Can you be nicer to each other? Can we be less negative and toxic to each other? Kindness. You tell me that so basically, apparently nice girls don't get the corner office. I oppose that fervently. Okay, be kinder. I am telling you that kindness will grow you beyond measure. Be empathetic, put yourself in other people's shoes, have a high level of self-awareness, put yourself into what other people are experiencing. And I believe that we will grow a legion of powerful leaders in this country and the world.
Oh my word, I absolutely love that. So we've got a couple of comments that are coming through from some of our viewers. I just want to go through them quickly. So we have one coming through from Nombulelo. She says, yo, I'm in love. Klar. We have Ella Ndlovu saying, thanks for your honesty and genuineness. Absolutely love the interview. And we will post this interview on our social media pages on Pat on Brands. But should you have any questions, you're welcome to ask them. We've got like about 2 minutes left. But can you give us the 3 misconceptions that people have about leaders that have been proven to not be true?
In my opinion, of course, right? Because now you mustn't go and quote me, and Harvard Business Review didn't say this, okay?
Yeah.
The misconception is that a leader can't get to know their team as friends. Okay, it's a misconception. Some of the best leaders I know are my friends. They become my friends. They become my mentors. They've become close family friends. They know my kids. They know my husband. Actually, my husband in some instances could call them as well. So the biggest misconception is you can't get personal with your team. It is a lie. The best leaders are ones that actually do show a lot of heart on their sleeves. The second misconception, in my opinion, is that leaders don't get involved in the detail. We just have a halo view. When you don't get involved and you're not there with your team in the trenches, they're gonna fall. They're gonna feel that they're left. So there's a fine level between micromanagement and there's a level of involvement. Leaders who don't understand the technical aspects of the specific fields that they represent, that causes an issue because ultimately you are commenting on something that you don't know. So get involved in the detail. If you don't know, say you don't know and learn. Even if you have to humble yourself to more junior ranking team members, do it, because leaders need to get involved in the detail. I'm not saying the heavy detail, but how would you know to guide your team if you don't know? Do you know what I mean? So that's the second misconception. And I would say the third misconception about leaders, in my humblest of opinions, is that it's a little bit controversial, but leaders, basically you have to be hardcore. And I go back to the whole kindness thing. And I don't believe that. I believe you can just be human about it. And you need to really ensure that you show up authentically, because that's how reputation is built and that's how credibility is built.
I absolutely love it. And I think we don't need to say anything else after that.
Okay, let me add one more. Let me add one more for you.
Please do.
The last misconception about leaders, and I've been answering this quite a lot in this past month, because it's Women's Month. So there's a perception that you have to have people under you to be a leader. So you must have direct reports. No, you're a leader today. If you have gone to the bath, put some underwear on, hopefully, and you're sitting here and you attended some meetings, you're a leader. You led your life today. And I always go, back in the day when we used to go to offices, did you wake up? Did you arrive at the office? Did you dodge some traffic? For me, then you're a leader because you led your way back to the office and you got there on time. So the whole thing is you need to lead projects, you need to lead initiatives, and you need to lead yourself. Then, the direct reports will come and then you'll sign the absentee slips and it'll be fantastic, it'll be wonderful, you'll talk organogram, and. That's not important. Developing your own leadership style and developing the fact that, get it out of your head, you have to have direct reports under you to build a good leader. No, be manager of self first, be leader of self first, lead projects like a true leader, and then ultimately the direct reports come into you. It's somewhat an ego trip to have many people reporting into you, and I think it's a misconception.
100%. Sadika, I think we'll close it off there. It's been an absolute pleasure having this conversation with you. There's so much more that we could have gotten into, but unfortunately, because of time, we weren't able to. But I would highly recommend people to follow Sadika on social media. I think she will be sharing gems and just, giving you a different side of her as well. Just from browsing her pages, I was actually absolutely inspired. And I think a lot of people are inspired by this conversation that we've just had. I've seen some of the comments as well, where people are saying that you've just changed their perception and views on certain things. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for being who you are in the space. We need more people like you, because then that will put us at ease and will, have us walking in our glory and our light, so we can, continue to extend the light to other people. But we really appreciate the work that you do, and we look forward to everything else that you're going to do. And thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I truly, truly appreciate it. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Right. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in into the Brands Dialogues.